about?
Yeah. So the all the different test cases are here, namely based on the bill inquiry test cases. This is the happy scenario for the bill inquiry. This is happy scenario for bill payment, and then we have the test cases for the mock parts. So these two are the test cases for the mock part. I'll be demoing that. And then I'll move on to show the different negative scenario APIs. So starting from BI 00, RTP 001 is the uh, happy scenario test case for the request to pay, that is bill transfer request part. And then we have the negative test cases. So there are, I think so, 8 test cases in total for bill inquiry, the non-RTP part. And I think so there are 8 test cases in total for the RTP parts. So in total, I'll be demoing, I'll be just walking you through around 13 test cases. Sure. So, moving on. So this is this particular test case is an integrated test case that runs the bill inquiry for a particular bill ID with the payment part. So it's doing both together. So I'll just run this for now. And then after this, I'll move on to the mock bill API for the payments BB to biller aggregator and biller aggregator to payments BB parts. So as we can see, this test case was successful. I'll just show the logs here in order to show what the response had come. So this is the response for the bill inquiry that the transaction was successful, and we get the bill details of 001, the biller name, and etc. And then we have the same response that we got for the bill payments is what we are getting over here, that we are getting the ACK part, bill status acknowledgement. Yeah, so let me just try and run this test case for bill inquiry. Mm. Yeah, so as we can see, we successfully was able to call the mock API, and this is the transaction, the response. We get a successful transaction ID for this mock API. Later. But then moving on, I can show the negative scenario test cases one by one. So this is the bill inquiry test case where the bill inquiry fails due to invalid prefix. So I'll just run this test case one by one. So there are multiple test cases. As I mentioned, there are around 16 test cases for negative scenarios. The happy scenarios are what I'd shown you through Postman. So, and we have specific bill IDs that give us different responses for bill inquiry failures and all. So as we can see for this one, we got a response code error. So we expected that the request will reach payments BB, and from there, when we send the request to bill aggregator, there we'll get an error saying that the biller that was associated with this bill ID is not identified by us. So the biller did not identify the pair FI prefix. So that's why we have this error coming over here, that for bill ID 101, the biller was unidentified. And the reason that biller was unidentified, the pair FI did not match, was generally we expect a 00 here as the prefix for all identified billers in our current system. But this one was 101, so that's why it gave a unidentified biller issue. Moving on, the invalid bill says that the bill ID is invalid. The prefix is correct, but the ID that we have sent is not getting identified with the biller. So this is the test case for that, and I'll just run it. Yeah, so I extracted the non-empty response, and in this we are getting invalid bill ID as the issue because this particular bill ID is not registered with any biller. The biller is not able to identify this bill ID. So that's why we get the issue of bill ID. And this part, this error comes after we have accepted the request from payments BB side. This error is generally coming from the biller aggregator side. Then FSP not onboarded will be an error that comes from the payments BB side and not from the biller aggregator side. Because this FSP, the payer FI who is trying to initiate the transaction is not onboarded. So that's why we'll get this error from the payments BB side. Yeah, so this is the response that I got, saying that the participant is not onboarded for this particular bill ID.